Welcome back my student with the another video lectures of the human anatomy physiology. In this video I taught about the brain, which is in your syllabus. The topic covered is the developments of the brain, the meninges, the ventricles of the brain and the cerebrospinal fluid. Firstly, the introductions of the central nervous system. We all know that our central nervous system is consist of the brain and the spinal cord. Next, we will know about the how the brain is developed. So during the embryogenesis, see that the neuronal plate which migrates towards the middle, the formations of the V-like shape and having the neuronal crest. And the day of 23rd, see that the anterior opening of the neuronal tube. Here the V-shaped neuronal plate is converted to the O-shaped neuronal tube, and here the neuronal crest which became the peripheral nervous system. And then the week of 4th, see that the formations of the forebrain. See that this is the forebrain, this color is denoted by the forebrain, then this color is denoted by the midbrain and the hindbrain. And the week 6th, see that from the forebrain, the formations of the diencephalon and the cerebrum and midbrain is there. Then from the hindbrain, the formations of the medulla oblongata and the cerebellum and the pons. See that also from these portions, this diencephalon, the eye is also formed. And the week of 11, see that this size of the cerebrum will increased, and that this is the diencephalon, this is the midbrain portion, this is the cerebellum, this is pons and medulla oblongata. Then the week of 40, so most portions of the brain is covered by the cerebrum, and this is the child after birth. See that this is the portion, different portion, this is the dorsal of the superior portion, this is the ventral of the inferior portion, this is the caudal and this is the rostral. Then comes about the meninges. What is meninges? So meninges is the membrane which cover the brain and the spinal cord, which lie between the skull and the brain, between the vertebrate and between the vertebrae and the spinal cord. So what are the different types? The first one is the dura mater, is the outermost, then the arachnoid matter, then the pia mater or pia mater. And the dura mater and the arachnoid matter are separated by a potential space is known as subarachnoid subdural space, and arachnoid and matter and the pia matters are separated by the subarachnoid space. So first one is the dura mater. See this, the dura mater consists of the dense fibrous tissue and outer layer that takes the place of the periosteum of the inner surface of the skull bone, and the inner layer provide a protective covering of the brain, and the flax cerebri separate the two hemisphere of the cerebrum, and the tenorium cerebrally separate the cerebrum from the cerebellum, and the superior sagittal sinus is formed by the flax cerebri, and the tenorium cerebelli form a straight and transverse sinus. See this picture. So this is the dura mater, and see this dura mater which formations of the flax cerebri. This flax cerebri, what is the main functions of the flax cerebri? Which separate to the cerebral cortex, the two hemisphere. So it is the right and the left hemisphere which is separated by this flax cerebri, and this flax cerebri again form the superior sagittal. This is the superior sagittal sinus. Then comes about the arachnoid matter. See this, the arachnoid matter, this is the delicate serous membranes which lie between the dura mater and the pia mater. It is separated from the dura mater by the subdural space and from the pia mater by the subarachnoid space which contain the cerebrospinal fluid. See this image. So this is lie between the dura mater and the paramatter. This is the arachnoid matter. Between the dura mater and the arachnoid matter, the space is known as subdural space, and between the arachnoid matter and the pia mater space is known as subarachnoid space. And this arachnoid matter and the pia mater, which is connected by the arachnoid tubes or the arachnoid tube. And also this is the arachnoid villus also there. Then comes about the pia mater. This pia mater is the most inner layer of the membrane. This is the pia mater, which is, see this, that this is the fine connective tissue containing many minute blood vessels. It adheres to the brain and completely cover the convolutions and the dipping each the fissure, and it continues the downwards around the spinal cord. See that, then which is continue to the spinal cord. Then comes about the, so this is the picture. See this. This is the dura mater, the flux cerebri. This color is denoted by the flux cerebri, and this is the tentorium cerebelli. This is a tentorium cerebelli, and this is the sinus, straight sinus, the transverse sinus, the flux cerebelli. These are then the ventricles of the brain. There are the 4 ventricles are there. Ventricles means it is basically the cavity. The lateral ventricle. There are the 2 types of the lateral ventricles. One is the right, another one is the left lateral ventricle, then the 3rd ventricle and 4th ventricle. So see this picture. First one is the lateral ventricle. Lateral ventricle, one is the right, another one is the left. So this is the left lateral ventricle and this is the right lateral ventricle. This left and right lateral ventricle, which is separated by the septum lucidum, and this lateral ventricle is lies under the corpus callosum. This is the corpus callosum portion, which is lie under the corpus callosum, and this lateral ventricle is connected to the 3rd ventricles by the intraventricular foramina. Then comes about the 3rd ventricle. This is the 3rd ventricle portion. This 3rd ventricle portion is lie below the lateral ventricle, which is connected with the 4th ventricle by the aqueduct of the midbrain. Then the 4th ventricle. The 4th ventricle is basically diamond shape and which is lie below the 3rd ventricle and which is continue. This is continue. See that in this image, this 4th ventricle is continue with the central canal, and it is lie between the cerebellum and the pons. See this image. So also this 4th ventricle is connected to the subarachnoid space. Then the cerebrospinal fluid. The cerebrospinal fluid is a clear, colorless liquid that protects the brain and spinal cord from the chemical and physical injury. The how much volume? The volume is the 80 to 150 ml, and the main chemical composition is the glucose, protein, lactic acid, urea, cation like the sodium, potassium, calcium and magnesium, some anion like the chloride and the bicarbonates are there. Then what are the functions of the CSF? First one is the mechanical protection. So due to having the shock absorption property, so during any types of the injury which protect the bony wall of the cranial cavity and the vertebral column, the vertebral canal coalition, then comes about the chemical protection. The main chemical protection is the which provide the chemical environment for the accurate neuronal signaling. Then the circulations function, like it allow the exchange of the nutrients and the waste product between the blood and the neurons. Then how the CSF is formed, means the formations of the CSF. See this, the CSF is formed from the choroid plexus. This choroid plexus is the network of the blood capillary, the microscopic blood vessels in the wall of the ventricles, which having the ependymal cell. This cell is basically responsible for the formations of the CSF. See this. So this is the choroid plexus. Then this is the inner or the molecular structures of the choroid plexus. See this. This is the ependymal cell, and between these two ependymal cell, the tight junctions are there. These tight junctions main function to restrict the selective materials inside the brain, and from this ependymal cell this CSF is produced. Then see this, the formation. So this is from the corpus callosum, from the choroid plexus this CSF is produced. So after productions of the CSF, which goes to the lateral ventricle, from this lateral ventricle it comes to the third ventricle by the interventricular foramina. From this third ventricle it comes to the fourth ventricle by the aqueduct of the midbrain. This is the aqueduct of the midbrain which connect between the third ventricle and fourth ventricle. Then after coming to the fourth ventricle, then which goes to the subarachnoid space, then the arachnoid villi. See this image. So from the lateral ventricle the CSF is, after the production from the choroid plexus, it comes to the lateral ventricle. So from the lateral ventricles to third ventricle through the interventricular foramina, then from the third ventricle to fourth ventricle through the aqueduct of the midbrain, then from the fourth ventricle to subarachnoid space through the lateral and the mid aperture, and from the subarachnoid space to arachnoid villi. Then it is comes by the venous blood, heart and lung, then against the fourth ventricle, third ventricle and the lateral ventricle. And this is the circulations of the cerebrospinal fluid. And thank you.